federal regulation and what's happening with TSCA, what's happening at the FDA, what's happening. So, yeah, but putting the whole class in would be super. Yeah, go ahead. 2 questions.
I just want to know what's TSCA.
Oh, TSCA. Okay. TSCA. What's the acronym stand for? Help me.
It's an opera.
Yes, exactly. My God. It's the organization at the federal level that reviews toxic substances.
Okay.
And so it's the Toxic Substance Control Act.
Got it.
Thank you. I knew it would come. So they review, they have the authority to review various chemicals and then make recommendations for regulation. And they've been a little bit, from state perspective, the federal support for this work has been a little bit slow in coming. And so states like Vermont, Maine, Washington, Oregon, and California, and now Massachusetts, I think a little bit, are starting to take a greater lead in trying to reduce the effects of the toxic chemicals. And so anything that's tested on humans, the FDA plays a role. The EPA also plays a role, kind of oversees all of this. So it does, when you go to the federal level, it gets complicated and it also gets somewhat slowed down.
Well, it's 2023. I'm so frustrated and disgusted that we are still poisoning ourselves and each other and our environment. Like it's shocking to me that we're doing it purposefully for money, right? I guess I want to know more about why we can't ban this as a class. I don't have the background knowledge.
Okay.
So I would love to learn more because again,
We'll ask that question.
we will get what we tolerate.
The Department of Health will come in and tell us all the reasons why it's too complicated for them to do it.
Well,
Bring it on for it.
Well,
Other places do it, so I.
We
agree with you,
will.
Senator.
We'll look at what's happening across the country. I'm not sure that California has done a whole class.
okay, and
But the European Union has banned classes of chemicals, but they have a very different system for testing and evaluating. It's a much larger system and it's very expensive. It would be something that a state couldn't do, but the federal government can do. So we'll try to bring people in who can speak to that question.
yeah, their focus on public health and wellness is just light years ahead of ours, and I don't see why we can't emulate some of what they do.
We try. Believe me.
I have a follow-up question about the fields, because I live in a city that has a school district that has a turf field that will need to be replaced in the not too distant future. So I'm really glad that this legislation is going to go through. I'm also curious, I'm assuming there are turf fields that can be made without these chemicals?
So this is something you would need to hear testimony.
Testimony.
What the
That's where we
alternatives
get
are.
our
Can we get some testimony on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All of these things, you say, well, are there substitutes
Right.
for these, for cosmetic products? Are there substitutes for turf?
Yeah.
And for waterproof textiles?
Yeah.
That's a question.
Right. Okay, great. Well, I look forward to learning more.
So, yeah, so we'll bring some businesses in. Hopefully we'll be, I think I've talked with some folks about it. We've got people coming in here. We need to answer all those questions. Because we need to be satisfied with what's here.
Yeah.
And we'll hear from manufacturers who would like us to strike a whole lot of things, but then we're going to hear from other people that, well, we can't strike that one because it's really terrible and very toxic at very low levels, or it's bioaccumulates. But we have all of that information to gain. Okay.
I really appreciate the bill run through. It's really helpful.
Well, this is the start, so you have to know what's in the
Yeah.
bill. Have your questions down, and then as we hear testimony, you'll have new questions, and then you'll also have answers. Okay. So keep me posted on the things you want to hear about. Okay, so we've got like 15 minutes before Jen Carby comes in.